General Hospital spoilers reveal that Anna and Jordan are focusing all their attention on Jason, seeing him as the prime suspect in Cyrus's murder, and this is throwing Port Charles into a whirlwind of trouble. The initial evidence, conflicting testimonies, and suspicious signs from people around Jason are making him the perfect target in this tense investigation. All the signs point in one direction: Jason was present at the critical time, he has a clear motive, and he is skilled enough to carry out the assassination without leaving a trace. But is everything really as simple as it seems? The problem is not only that Jason is suspected, but also that there is a force manipulating the situation to push him into a corner. This crazy story is no longer just a criminal case, it's turning into a power struggle, a strategic game between the most influential figures in Port Charles. And one of those pulling the strings behind the scenes is Drew, who has long wanted to eliminate Jason and now has the perfect opportunity to do so. Drew has proven that he is no longer the same person he once was. His hatred, ambition, and mysterious plans are becoming more and more apparent. He doesn't just want to take Jason down, but he also wants to completely ruin his reputation and position in the city. As Anna and Jordan's investigation goes deeper, Drew is ready to set up a sophisticated trap, one that Jason will have a hard time escaping. It's possible that Drew will not only refuse to provide an alibi for Jason, but he may also manipulate the information to make things look worse for Jason. If Drew can convince Anna and Jordan that Jason had the time, motive, and means to kill Cyrus, this case will no longer be an investigation, it will become a verdict already set for Jason. But it doesn't stop there. If Jason is truly arrested, it will create a huge gap in the underground world of Port Charles. Who will take his place? Who will step into the role that he and Sonny held for many years? And more importantly, is there someone lurking in the shadows, waiting to fill this power vacuum? Does Drew really want to replace Jason, or does he just want to see him eliminated once and for all? One thing is for sure, he is playing a very risky game. If Jason can prove his innocence, if he can turn the tables, then Drew may be the one who has to pay. But if Drew succeeds in setting up Jason, if he can manipulate the investigation to send Jason to prison, it could mark the end of an era and open the door to a whole new one, a world where Jason Morgan no longer exists to protect what he fought for. Anna and Jordan are in pursuit of the truth, but are they really on the right track? Or are they just pawns being manipulated in a bigger scheme? Are they pursuing the real criminal, or are they just helping someone else carry out their revenge plan? Meanwhile, Jason cannot sit back and let fate decide. He knows he's being cornered, but he also knows that someone is trying to control this entire story to make him the scapegoat. He has to find a way to prove his innocence before it's too late. But can he do that when everyone, even those he once trusted, are turning their backs on him? This story is no longer just a criminal investigation, it's a real battle, a battle that not only determines Jason's fate, but also the future of Port Charles. Who will be the ultimate victor in this dangerous game of chess? Can Jason turn things around, or will Drew succeed in eliminating him once and for all? One thing is certain, Port Charles will never be the same again. Drew has forged Jason's alibi, and this is creating one of the biggest messes Port Charles has ever witnessed. This is no longer just a regular investigation, it's a carefully calculated conspiracy aimed at completely destroying Jason, sending him to prison without a chance of escape. Drew is not only manipulating the truth, but he's also using his connections to ensure that Jason has no way to defend himself. The story is getting crazier as each layer of this conspiracy is slowly revealed. Drew has changed testimonies, distorted the truth, and may even have planted false evidence to prove that Jason was at the crime scene the night Cyrus was killed. If Drew's plan succeeds, Jason will not only be considered the murderer, but could also be convicted with seemingly irrefutable evidence. The new developments in Anna and Jordan's investigation are pushing Jason into a more dangerous position than ever before. As they review the evidence, testimonies, and details surrounding the case, they see Jason as the ideal suspect. But what they don't realize is that there is a hand at play trying to lead them down the wrong path. Drew knows that if Jason is convicted, he will remove one of his biggest obstacles. But can he really live with that decision? Once the truth is exposed, Drew could become the next one being hunted. What he's doing doesn't just affect Jason, but it also puts his family and allies in danger. Meanwhile, Jason cannot sit idly by and become the victim of a scheme he can't control. He knows he must find evidence to clear his name before things go too far. But with everything seemingly working against him, can he do that before it's too late? If Jason is truly sent to prison, it won't just be the end of him, it will be a huge shift for Port Charles. Without Jason, who will protect the people he fought to protect? Who will stop the dark forces waiting for their chance to seize power? And will anyone dare to question the truth when all the evidence is stacked against him? This story is reaching a turning point that no one could have predicted. Drew has opened a dangerous door, but can he control what happens next? And more importantly, can Jason escape the trap set for him, designed to completely destroy him? Keep watching General Hospital to witness one of the most shocking stories yet. As the truth slowly comes to light, Port Charles will never be the same again, and those involved in this dangerous game may have to pay a higher price than they ever imagined. Drew has completely rejected his brotherly relationship with Jason, and this not only marks a major shift in their relationship but also creates one of the biggest troubles Port Charles has ever witnessed. This is no longer a simple conflict between two men with complex pasts. This is a real war, where betrayal and hatred are slowly taking the lead. For a long time, Jason and Drew have had a complicated relationship. Although they are twins, they never truly had a solid foundation to build their family bond. Jason was always the chosen one. He was the one Sonny trusted, the one Carly placed absolute faith in, the one everyone respected in the underground world. Meanwhile, Drew always felt like an outsider, someone who only received the leftovers of other people's decisions. Drew tried to carve out his own path, but it seems the frustration and jealousy have turned into an unshakable resentment. And now, when given the chance to completely sever the bond between him and Jason, Drew has no hesitation in taking advantage of it. He not only rejects Jason but also uses this situation to push Jason into a point of no return. Jason, who is accustomed to brutal battles and dangerous enemies, never expected that Drew, his own blood, would be the one to betray him in the most painful way. The shock and hurt that Jason is going through are unlike anything he has faced before. This isn't just a backstabbing, this is a deliberate attempt to destroy Jason completely. This story not only affects Jason but also completely changes the dynamics of Port Charles. If Jason is no longer in control, who will take his place? Does Drew truly want to become the leader, or does he just want to see Jason eliminated so no one stands in his way? And if Jason is truly pushed into a corner, can Sonny, Carly, or anyone else help him get out of this situation? The new developments in this situation are making everything more dangerous than ever. Drew is not only severing his relationship with Jason but is also willing to use any means necessary to ensure that Jason never has a chance to come back. By manipulating the investigation by Anna and Jordan, distorting the truth, and creating false evidence, Drew is setting up the perfect trap that Jason cannot escape from. But the biggest question still remains: can Jason find a way to save himself before it's too late? If Jason cannot prove his innocence, if he cannot find a way to turn the tide, what will happen next? Does Drew truly have the ability to step up and control what Jason once ruled, or will he realize he has made a terrible mistake? Carly, who has always been loyal to Jason, will not sit idly by while her best friend is destroyed. Michael, too, will not be able to ignore a plot targeting his family. But do they have the strength to confront Drew, who is so determined to achieve his goal? And finally, what will happen if Jason no longer wants to fight? If he loses everything, family, reputation, power, will he still have the motivation to fight? Or will he accept defeat and allow Drew to achieve what he wants? The story is heading toward an unpredictable turning point, where betrayal, hatred, and power are intertwining to create one of the most dangerous twists in General Hospital history. No one can be sure what will happen next, but one thing is certain: Port Charles will never be the same again. Monica's death has created a storm of emotions within Drew, pushing him down a path with no way out. This is not just a simple loss, but an event that has completely changed him, pushing him into a dark corner he never thought he could enter. For Drew, Monica was the only mother he truly felt unconditional love from, the one who accepted him even as he struggled with his identity. But now, with her gone, he feels as though he has lost everything, as if the entire world is against him. And the most painful thing is that Drew cannot accept this as a natural loss. He needs someone to blame. And Jason is the perfect target. The resentment Drew feels toward Jason is nothing new, but Monica's death has pushed that hatred to new heights. Drew has always felt overshadowed by Jason, left out of family decisions, treated as a replacement rather than an independent individual. In Drew's eyes, everything good belonged to Jason, from his place in the family to the loyalty of those around him, and even the affection Monica showed both of them. But now, with Monica gone, Drew believes Jason has taken the last thing he had, the only person who ever truly saw him as a son. This obsession with the loss begins to consume Drew, turning him into a completely different person. If he still held on to a part of his humanity before, now he cares for nothing but revenge. It is not just the sense of loss, but the bitterness and anger because Jason is still there, still the cold, logical Jason Morgan, still protected by those who care for him, while Drew feels completely alone. This drives Drew to want to do anything to destroy Jason, to make him feel the same loss Drew is experiencing. And Drew is not simply seeking to make Jason suffer, he wants to erase him entirely. He wants him to lose his reputation, his freedom, everything he has ever had. If Drew was once a wounded man, now he is becoming a true manipulator. And he has a clear plan to achieve that. Using his position, Drew begins to set in motion a series of events to trap Jason. He manipulates evidence, changes testimonies, and even collaborates with people who have a vested interest in getting rid of Jason to ensure that everything goes according to plan. Drew knows that if he can get Jason convicted, if he can push him into prison, then he will win the ultimate victory. But what Drew doesn't realize is that he too is changing in ways that cannot be undone. Each decision he makes, each step he takes, is pushing him further away from the man Monica once loved. If Monica were still alive, she would probably be the only one who could pull him back, but now, no one can do that anymore. Drew is becoming someone completely different, a cold, ruthless person with no room for regret. Meanwhile, Jason has no idea the extent of Drew's hatred for him. He is used to fighting enemies in the underground world, but Drew is no ordinary enemy. He is his twin brother, a part of his past, and that makes this battle harder than ever. Jason may see signs of change in Drew, but he never expected Drew to go this far. When Jason realizes that Drew is behind the plot against him, it may already be too late. Carly, Michael, and Jason's close ones also begin to feel the pressure from these events. Carly cannot believe Drew could betray Jason in this way, but at the same time, she realizes that the pain from Monica's death has turned Drew into someone else. Michael feels torn between loyalty to his family and guilt for not helping Drew find a way out. But while they are still trying to understand Drew, he has gone too far to turn back. If Drew's plan succeeds, Jason could lose everything, including his freedom. But if Jason uncovers the truth and strikes back, Drew could be the one who pays the price. This is no longer just a family conflict, this is a merciless battle, where only one person can stand tall when it's all over. The question now is no longer whether Jason can forgive Drew, it is whether Drew is even a person who can be forgiven anymore. And more importantly, will Drew realize that he is becoming the very kind of person he once hated? Port Charles is about to enter a new, dark chapter where old alliances are broken, relationships are tested, and secrets are exposed. One thing is certain, after all that is happening, no one will ever be the same again.